So, good evening. Here we are back with the winners of this season's UEFA Europa League. And big congratulations to Atalanta for the great achievement and performance today. Complimenti, Mr. Anki.
Grazie, grazie.
Ready to start with the press conference. And Andrea, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Greg. We can start with questions to Coach Gian Piero Gasperini. You may ask Coach Gasperini one question each. We can start with. Okay.
Domenico Carillo, Agenziaria. Mr. Gasperini, complimenti.
Congratulations on the win, first and foremost, for the way you won it. We hadn't seen a performance like this from an Italian side for many years. A question. With this team, with this group of players, how far can you go with heart and desire and determination next season? First and foremost, let's try and savour this win tonight before thinking about how far we can go next season. This team and this club has grown with results. We've done so whilst making sure that we balance the books or even turn a profit, and that's the most exceptional element about this club, because typically in Europe and above all in Italy, the clubs that are winning things, and we've seen instances of that over the last few days, those clubs actually struggle to keep costs down. Whereas Atalanta have managed to win things whilst still being a financially sustainable club, and that's why the club deserves great credit, and I think that's extraordinary.
AFP. Can I ask you about Ademola Lookman? He's a player who was discarded by...
Can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. Can I ask you about Ademola Lookman? He was a player who was discarded by Everton and RB Leipzig. What did you see in him when you signed him for Atalanta, and how has he improved over the past 2 years that you've been coaching him?
No, lui era all'Ester.
No, he was at Leicester. He was a Leipzig player on loan. And we had a senior manager at Atalanta who had worked at Leicester, who saw that they had the opportunity to bring him in from Everton, and he thought he was a possible useful player for us. But no one ever imagined that he could really make this much progress, because he wasn't overly prolific in England. I changed his position a little bit. I played him in a slightly more attacking role. He already scored a number of goals last season. And this season he's had a great year, albeit it was interrupted by the AFCON. He was away for a long while. And tonight he achieved something which will remain in the annals of football history, a stunning hat-trick. And he's really carried himself as an incredible player, a decisive player, a match winner.
Mister.
You were the manager in 2020 during that awful time for the city of Bergamo with the COVID situation. Does that victory today ease some of the pain of that particular situation?
Ma insomma, certe cicatrici.
It's hard to erase certain scars, albeit a number of years have since gone by, but they were very tough, painful moments. The people of Bergamo are always ready to react, even when the going gets tough. The entire city really responded well, and we, as a team, could do no different. Of course, we won't be able to do away with all of that pain, but I think we have managed to put a smile on the face of the Bergamasco people.
Ciao Gian Piero.
You've always said that certain accolades in terms of praise was akin to winning a trophy. But can we say that it's even better tonight because you've won a piece of silverware whilst playing your brand of football? This is perhaps Atalanta par excellence in terms of the way you played the game. We certainly produced a wonderful performance tonight, and we needed to do so against such a top side. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had any chance of winning the match. In terms of matches, this trophy doesn't necessarily change the run that we've been on. I've never believed that one piece of silverware, a cup or a trophy would necessarily change the journey we've been on. I think the run that we've been on has been worth more than one single piece of silverware. We've played so many matches like this down the years, so many matches like this season alone. This is nothing new. This is not the only game that we've played like we did tonight. This is the result of a whole journey, part of a process. Of course, it will be emphasized, highlighted by the trophy that we've won tonight, but Atalanta should be judged and assessed on the season as a whole and all of the last few years.
Buonasera mister, complimenti anzitutto, Ivan Cardia, tutto.
Good evening and congratulations. You've brought the Europa League back to Italy, and it had been 25 years of drought. How proud are you of that? Hugely proud for all of Italy, because it was a cursed trophy, albeit over the last 25 years, I think only Inter and Roma had lost Europa League finals. So that shows just what a competitive competition this is. Having won it with Atalanta is perhaps one of those footballing fairy tales that very rarely crop up. And it does give scope for meritocracy. Meritocracy still believes there's still scope for ideas, and it doesn't only come down to cold, hard numbers and super leagues, but you can also show faith in other teams that don't necessarily have huge bills and budgets, but that can still achieve great things. Good evening. Congratulations, first and foremost. I wanted to ask you, a lot has been said about Gian Piero Gasperini's attacking brand of football, and yet you kept a clean sheet tonight against a side that had scored 152 goals this season. And they did a good job. They did a very good job. I've always been a believer that there are times when you don't necessarily need to be the best team. We don't necessarily think we're a better side than Liverpool or Juventus, but often you actually are better on the night. We were better on the night in everything, in terms of the way we defended, but also in the way we attacked, because we were always very dangerous, and we scored 3 splendid goals. And we had a number of other opportunities as well. So I think we did a very good job tonight.
Ultima domanda, please.
Hello, mister.
Huh?
In 2020, after COVID, Atalanta played very nice football but lost in a dramatic fashion against Paris Saint-Germain. Do you think that a victory like the one tonight is something like a revenge to the destiny?
Sì.
No, that was another great performance. And in the last few minutes, they turned the game on its head. But that doesn't take away anything from our performance. The PSG game really hurt because we were a couple of minutes away from a Champions League semi-final. And those are opportunities which, for teams and clubs like Atalanta, and even for big clubs, happen very rarely. tonight has gone above and beyond that. That was perhaps the peak of our recent years. That was almost a Champions League semi-final. It was already significant making the Europa League final, but it's even more prestigious to now win the trophy. We saw the numbers earlier on in terms of how tough it is to win this competition, and we've won it against top teams. We beat Sporting, who were the Portuguese champions, and they waltzed to the title. We played against them 4 times. We never lost. We won 2, drew 2. We played against Liverpool, and they were top of the Premier League at the time. We played against Marseille, a very tough place to go. We played a wonderful second leg against them. And today we played against the German champions, who waltzed to the Bundesliga title. So we came up against almost all domestic champions of big footballing nations, and that gives even more gloss and prestige to our triumph.
So, Mr. Gasperini.
Okay.
Grazie.
I will accompany you.
Here.
Ademo, you can see.
Sì, calma, Greg, calma.
Good.